How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I am so happy to be here. I'm really looking forward to having this work with you all. My name is Jeff Smith, and I am a musician based here in Los Angeles, and I sing with an acapella group called M-Pact. We're a professional group that does a lot of touring and recording and all the stuff that pro groups do. And but you know, just like you guys, I started kind of about your age, sort of getting interested in acapella music, and my very first acapella group was a doo-wop group that I put together for our end of the year school talent show. It's kind of like a pop concert that the choir program has been on every year. So I put together a doo-wop group, fell in love with vocal harmony, and I've just been doing it ever since. So anyway, I am excited to hear what you guys have been working on, and I actually want to start with one that I am very familiar with, and that is Master Blaster. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know. So the story. I didn't see sheet music before. Did you guys learn from sheet music?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jason Smith, the arranger, who's from Iowa, teaches at a college down there in southwest Iowa. Yeah. Known him for a long time. He kind of comes out of the film mats in school of arranging, but this is kind of off the beaten path for him. It's kind of reggae take on a Stevie Wonder thing. So, but it's one that I think I really want to. So I'm looking forward to hearing him do that. All right. So, and by the way, so my fortes in terms of what I can offer you all are going to be mostly on the musical side. If you want to do some of your staging and blocking, if you have any choreo, stuff like that, you're welcome to do it. And I can provide some feedback on that. It's not my area of expertise as much as the music side, so I will leave that up to you. Sound good? Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
There'll be a party oh, at the end of the line.
we have to sort of take that arrangement and make it work for the voices that we have. So it's interesting to hear just all of the parts that are supposed to be there as they were written. So cool. Really nice work. Really good sound, good balance and blend and tuning, and the rhythmic accuracy was really good. I fully expected it to really rush, because this is definitely one that will want to rush and take off on you if you're not careful. And I think one of the things that we'll even work on is just maybe even pulling the tempo back even a little bit more to give it more of that sort of island feel. So we'll play around with that a little bit. But yeah, that's a great start. Really great place to start with. And you mind if we work on this one for a little bit?
Yes.
All right, so let's jump in. So I'm going to talk to percussion first, because that's the part that I know the best. So here's something that is kind of unique to reggae. This is not technically a reggae song, but it's obviously borrowing from some reggae rhythms. What you will hear a lot in reggae music is the kick drum on 2 and 4 rather than the snare drum on 2 and 4. So in kind of typical pop music, what you would hear is basically what you're doing. Kind of that feel, right? Through the verses. What you would actually hear in reggae is so the kick drum happens on 2 and 4 rather than the snare drums. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it takes a little practice to kind of get the hang of that. So that's the first place I would start. So, but then when you go into the choruses, you're going into the double time, which I think is the right idea. So can we just do a verse and a chorus real quick? And I'm gonna drum along with you, so you can kind of get a sense of what you might try with your group later. So we just start right at right where the solo comes in, where the first solo comes in. There. Sound good? If I just give us 1, 2, ready to go, you know what to do. I'm gonna come over here by him, so you can kind of, so he can hear what I'm doing, but you guys will all hear it as well. Okay. What's a good place to start?
Just the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's just start at the beginning. So right where the bass come in. 1, 2, 3.
Ella, 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 ella. Ella, 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 ella.
Yep.
Ella, ella, ella. Once feeling fatigued. Ella, it's harder than July. Ella, ella, ella. World's full of problems. Ella, touches Ella, midday dry. Ella, ella, ella. Heart got your rhythm. Ella, Ella's hot on the bar. Ella, ella, ella. There'll be a party. Ella, ella. Corner Ella, end of the bar. Ella, Ella, Ella.
That's the idea. You got it? So that's going to take some practice, because it's not how we typically would formulate our rhythmic patterns, putting the kick on 2 and 4. But play around with that. And also what you can do is, can we just start right in the same place real quick? And what you can start doing as you get more comfortable with it is you can start adding some like some other drum sounds in between those kick drums, and I'll give you just a few ideas. So right in the same place. 1, 2,
Ella, 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 ella.
Stuff like that. Get the idea. So feel free to just kind of, as you get more comfortable with that pattern, to you can start adding some other drum fills and things like that in the middle. Okay. Good. So that's a good place to start. So let's talk dynamic range for a minute. Where do you think dynamically is the high point of the song?
The chorus.
That's one idea. That's not necessarily wrong or right. I'm just curious where you all think it is at the moment. Yeah.
Specifically the second chorus because of the decimal.
Yeah. So, cool. Okay. So you mean, by chorus, do you mean what?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool. So let's aim for that. So right now, what I'm hearing is a pretty steady mezzo forte through most of the arrangement right now. So we have a lot of room to grow dynamically right now. So here's what I would suggest. when the solo comes in the first time. So I think the intro is probably fine, kind of at a nice mezzo forte. When the solo comes in, can we bring the backs down to like piano, maybe even pianissimo? Because there are like 72 of you singing 3 parts. So let's bring those back and see if that makes a little bit more space for those soloists to be heard. And then that also gives us somewhere to grow when we go into the chorus. Okay, can we try that? Start right at the top again. So beginning is good, then let's bring that volume way back in the background vocals when we get to the verse. Okay. 1, 2, Hey, I can hear the solo.
The world's full of problems. It's hard to see even if they try.
Cool. So now within that framework, great job, Solo. So within that framework, we can now create some little phrases in there too. So when we get to the end of that 8-bar phrase, right, and then bring it back down again. You want to try that? So let's do the same thing, right? Can we just start right at the verse? 1, 2, 3, and.
It's hotter than July. The world's full of problems. It's hard to see even if they try.
Cool. So far, so good? These are just, by the way, anytime I throw out these musical ideas, these are mostly just things for you to consider. I'm going to probably give you more ideas than you actually need. You know, every time you come to that phrase, you're not going to want to do that swell necessarily. But this is just to give you ideas to go, oh, wow, it's actually more interesting if we change our dynamic level and create some phrasing, even within this pretty repetitive background part. I mean, it's pretty repetitive, right? It kind of does the same thing the whole time. But you can make it interesting with some dynamic contrast. Let me try one other thing. La, la, la. La. What if you extend the la on that last la? Just as a stylistic choice. Yeah.
Like a fall or like still
Not a fall. A little bit of a fall. A little bit of a fall. Yeah. So la. Let's try that. Let's just see what that feels like. 1, 2, same place.
Ella.
Oh yeah, we were to the chorus. I think we're getting the hang of it. Can we try that one more time? We'll start right at the verse. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and.
It's hotter than July. The world's full of problems. It's hard to see if they try. Body's hot on the bar. There'll be a party. Corner at the end of the bar. Ain't nobody told me that you.
Cool. So I like the chorus. I think we're picking up a little bit of tempo. I may lock us into a metronome here because we're getting excited because we sound awesome. So let us. So far, so good. You like these little ideas?
Yeah.
I think that gives it a little bit more variety in that background part. Let me find us a metronome. It's a group effort, by the way. It's not the drummer's fault. We're all deciding to go a little faster than
That
we need to.
thing is so weird.
What's that? Yeah, it takes practice. Are you going to be on a microphone usually?
Whoa.
When you perform?
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today, but like typically when you perform, you're on a mic.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll help a lot, obviously, when they can kind of feel where those kick drums are happening.
What?
Okay, so can we start right at the chorus? Does the chart music, does the chart have a tempo marking on it? Right now? It may not, but this feels pretty close. Let's just throw a fifth. 130. Why not? Okay, so here, before we get to it, so when we get to the, what I would love to hear from those who have that part is much, much smoother, much more legato, less of the consonant sounds, so less D. It should all be very connected. In fact, when we sing this at M-Pact, we modify that so that it's not. We almost do kind of a. I mean, it's very elongated. Okay. So what I'm hearing now are a little bit of some kind of choral D's in there. I think we want to eliminate that from this line. Make it nice and smooth. Okay. Think of it like an organ line, some kind of a funky Hammond B3 organ or something. Okay. So let's start right at the chorus. One, two, Okay, so can I hear just a doodle-a-doodle-a-doo people right, when that comes in, okay? Who is that? Sounds like it's all from over here. Oh, basses have it, right? Okay. Let me hear those folks. 1, 2, 3, and. Even softer D's. Even softer D's. Okay? I don't want to hear anything that sounds like a D, other than the fact that I hear the note changing. But I don't. See if you can do it without any perceptible D sound. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and. Cool. Close. That was all the right notes even. So that's the idea. So you still want it to be precise note-wise. So we don't want it to start. We don't want to start slurring our notes like we're trombone players. Okay. So we won't them to be pitch accuracy there, but I think you still want it to be nice and legato. So style-wise, I think we're there. Pitch-wise, not quite yet. Yeah.
Should we say glue instead? Like with the hard H? Or
I don't mind the D. I don't mind that as long as there's not a perceptible sound. That's what's kind of sinking in there. That kind of pulls out of the fabric of the sound, right? Can I hear that just one more time? Let's think about it phrasing-wise where this wants to go to. I feel like often when in doubt, follow the music. So when the notes go up, let's see if we can bring out the phrase, and then when it goes back down, let's bring it back down phrasing-wise, dynamically. Let's hear those folks one more time. Let's take a phrase out of this. 1, 2, say, folks.